Can you guys hear the countdown music? Okay, cool.
Wow, so Russia really is pretty big, huh?
Yeah.
But what do they need all that
Largest
for?
country in the world.
Are there people in those places, or is it just snow? Do they get summer?
In a lot of the northern places, it is very, very cold.
So people live all the way up here.
Not a lot. No. Carla Marie, by the way, is looking at a map for possibly the first time ever.
Good morning, Meech. No, I would like a globe so I can compare the flat Earth and the round Earth. See what really the difference is.
There is no round Earth.
That's right.
It's all flat.
Have you seen the meme that says, if the Earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off of it by now? I did come home to stuff all off of my desk on the floor.
Yeah, that's what they do. I think if you're actually, for most people, this might work. I think if you're a like messy person that leaves things out, getting a cat's like a good reminder, you know? Because if you leave things out,
Yeah.
it all gets pushed off the counter. Wait, who is that blonde with the guitar in the emote? Kind of looks like
Taylor Swift?
Carla Marie's emote, but not really.
Is that a guitar?
What? I don't know. No, it was a guitar, definitely.
No, it's Taylor Swift.
Who put it in there? Lenny.
Lenny. Oh, it is a guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I only saw it on the little screen. That's not me.
Kind of looks like your emote. If you put a bunch of those emotes and a bunch of your football emotes, they'd look like the same person.
Oh my god, you didn't put it on the list.
What?
I mean, the whole Eras Tour weekend.
Oh yeah, that was on purpose.
I could quite literally watch those videos for the rest of my life and smile every time. It's cute.
It is cute, yeah. So that is the guitarist for Machine Gun Kelly? Yeah, right.
Maybe I should get up there when she's sick.
Go for it.
I don't think I would like the way the feel of guitar strings.
I don't actually.
Yeah.
My uncle used to have a guitar, and I would pick it up every now and then, and I kind of hated it. But then that's why you use a pick, right? But you still need your fingers on the top part.
But that's not. Are you strumming up there or just pushing? I don't know. I only know the piano. Should I learn the piano next week on vacation?
Go for it.
I've started making a list of things I need to do next week, and it's
Is it not sounding like a vacation?
correct.
Yeah, that happens. Good morning, Kendi. Good morning, Jess. Who else do we have in here? Obviously, we talked to Lenny already. Claire, good morning. Coast to Coast, Kiara. D. Souter, good to see you. Run like a husky, good morning.
My niece claims she's watching, but she's lurking.
Puerto Rican Anthony, or Anthony Puerto Rican, good morning.
Where?
Right there. Imagine there was a version of me, like almost identically, living in Puerto Rico.
I mean, there's a version of you living identically in Australia.
Meech, good morning. Clarita, good morning. I see Jen and Lisa in there. Martha, Scotty. See Mergen, Mr. Miami Cool. Hello.
Ten, nine,
There's a New York version.
8, 7,
Oh yeah.
6,
Tag me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning and welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
This is the show. You are the show, and without you, this would not be a show at all.
I started
So-
this morning very interestingly, and I would like to recommend it.
Okay, what'd you do?
So two of my best friends, Colleen and Sam, were FaceTiming each other this morning. And once they knew I was up, they added me to the FaceTime. Sam works for Elvis during the morning show. They're on vacation this
Yep.
week. And I started my morning by FaceTiming two of my friends.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, guys, we should do this every day. It was like nice little way, which I guess is the equivalent of what we're all doing right now.
Yeah.
But It was
But they
cool.
also, I mean, they're in the New York, Philadelphia area. They're
Yeah.
in the East Coast time zone. So for them, it's like almost lunchtime. And you get to start your day like that.
Yeah, I was like literally getting dressed, talking to them. It was great. Anthony did a little outfit of the day for them.
I think it also helps when you wake up and connect with someone who's been awake longer than you.
You're like, I gotta go.
Like they've already got their day going.
Yeah.
So
You
you
feel
kind of
behind.
catch up really quick, and you're more alert and awake when you do that.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. I'm not saying you gotta do it every day, but every once in a while.
I'm
Why
like
not?
despite this show and the fact that we've done morning shows for however long, I am not a talk to people in the morning type of person.
I really wasn't either, ever. Like growing up, I loved my morning sleep.
Let's see. Oh, my lunch every time. Oh, wait. What's what Justin saying?
There's two lines. I
Okay.
have my lunch every time
Oh.
because it's 11 here.
Okay. That makes sense. When are you going to Japan is a question from Deborah Wilson 0082. I will leave this Saturday.
Yep.
So it's a pretty cool week. Obviously, we were in New York, New Jersey to start the week. I had a birthday barbecue at my parents' house. Did some swimming. A bunch of my cousins and aunts and uncles came over. It was amazing. We flew back here yesterday. Tomorrow, we are going to a taping of a cooking show, which is going to be awesome. Homemade Live. Then Friday is the celebrity basketball game, Champions of Change.
Mm-hmm.
And then I leave on Saturday. It's a pretty busy week.
It is a very busy week.
And what I'm honestly, as excited as I am to go to Japan,
Mm-hmm.
as excited as I am to play in Champions of Change on Friday, I think the thing I'm most excited for is I finally get to see Miles today and get my hair cut.
I like your hair fluffy.
It has been almost 2 months,
but
I think.
being like in
Over a month.
the humidity of New Jersey, it was so curly.
Yeah.
Are you going to cut a lot?
I think I might. I don't want to say too much, but I
Are you
might.
going to do the Mahomes?
I might
Don't do
do
that.
something. I might do something different
It's your
than
head.
I normally do.
Your body, your choice.
And I think I want to do it differently because it's already Tuesday, right? We only have one more live show.
So you can just go to a
And
new
then I'll be on
country.
vacation for a week. And if I don't like it, I'll just come back and change it.
You're going to take so many photos. I guess you can wear a hat.
I can, yeah, exactly.
The best part about you going to Japan is when you tell people you're going to Japan and they're like, oh, cool. When do you guys leave? Where are you staying?
Nope.
And then Anthony's like, oh, it's just me. And then it gets super awkward because they think it's like a weird thing. Have you noticed that? Where
No.
everyone, they're just like, oh. And then I have to be like,
Are people not allowed to go on trips without
no,
their
apparently
person?
not. And then I follow up with like, I didn't know how I was going to feel post-surgery, which now looking back, I definitely could have gone to Japan.
I mean, listen, I don't want to sound rude because obviously we travel a lot
I'm more
together.
than happy to sit home next week.
But I'm kind of glad you're not going.
I am also.
And it's not because I think one day, hopefully, I mean, I've promised that next year
You did.
or very soon we will go to Japan together.
Mm-hmm.
But we spend a lot of time together,
We do.
right? We were in Florida together for however long, like just you and I. We spend a lot of time together, and I think
But-
having a week-long break
I agree. And
is
we
going to be great.
are barely going to be able to talk to each other.
Yeah, with the 12-hour time difference. What did we figure out? It was
16.
Yeah.
But we don't really vacation together. That's not work. Like, when is the last vacation we went on that also wasn't work? Couldn't tell you.
Aruba. Oh, but that was with my whole family.
We did. We quite literally
Yeah.
have not gone on a vacation together. Just the two of us. That wasn't work. Or wasn't like one night somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of
So
it.
that's an issue.
Not really. It's been going pretty well. Things have worked really well so far.
Probably actually better off. I think we might kill each other.
But like Kendi said, it is healthy to have some time apart.
I'm so excited.
Oftentimes people don't understand that.
Can I announce now what I might be doing next week?
You can do whatever you want.
I volunteered
Okay.
to be a temporary foster
Oh, boy.
for Motley Zoo.
What kind of animal?
Cats and kittens.
More?
No, wait, listen. It's not definite. It's for people going on vacation.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like.
So
but
these are owned felines.
They have their permanent foster. I would
Okay.
be a temp foster.
Yeah, why not?
And I said, as long as like I don't have to lift anything heavy, I'm so glad I just said this. I need you to separate litter into things before you leave because I can't lift a 40-pound bag of litter.
Gotcha.
And I said, I'll just have Anthony do that. As long as it's not going to be anything crazy, I'm fine. And I just haven't heard back yet.
So where are they going to stay? Like just with the regular cats?
No, in the bathroom. If they're kittens in the bathroom. They know I have 4 cats.
Yeah.
So they would give me something that's...
But I'm saying if someone gives you a cat because they're going on vacation, it's like an adult cat that's not just going to sit in a bathroom all day.
It's not someone's cat. It's a foster cat.
Oh, so okay, because you
But a
kind of
foster-
made it sound like they had their forever homes already.
No. It's
So
a
these are-
foster going on vacation, like we did.
Okay.
When we went to New
Yes.
Jersey for my
Yes.
sister's wedding, there was someone that watched Ding Dong 1 and 2, Erica
Yes.
and John.
Wendy from Brooklyn asked a great question. So with Anthony going to Japan, no Twitch next week. There is nothing next week. There is no morning show podcast.
No boobs?
There, what?
No boob podcast?
Oh, I thought because you got rid of them.
They're awesome.
No Twitch. What we are going to try to do, though, is we have a bunch of interviews that we have done recently. We might put those in podcast form and have them air, essentially, or broad podcast every day while we're gone. That way there is something there. There's something to listen to if you have a long drive and you haven't been able to watch any of the interviews that we've done, whether it's Sean Mackin from Yellow Card, Frank Turner, whether
Joel
it's
Cameron.
Joel, who we will see tomorrow. He's the host of Homemade Live. Kwame and Marshall.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm missing someone. Jonah, the first interview that we had in here. So we're going to cut those up, make them a little more podcast friendly, and you can listen to those as you do your yard work, travel, whatever.
Tooth Fairy. That's a good one, too.
Oh, and the
actually.
Tooth Fairy, yeah.
I'm just
we got
so
6 of them.
I'm so excited. Frank Turner, thank you.
And Omar. I said Frank
So
Turner.
what do we just take another week off?
Sure, yeah.
I am so excited to actually do not work, but there's other things I want to get done that are extra. Whether it's some blog posts, I want to post my favorite makeup that I use from Dina and help her out and tag everything. And that's something that I have to sit down and focus on. And with our day-to-day schedule, it just never happens.
But can I make a suggestion?
I'm not going to work the whole time.
Don't do that.
No,
Go outside.
I'll do it outside.
Okay.
No, I'm so excited. I got to go
Okay,
to
well,
all
listen,
the doctors, and I'm going to meal prep all week so that, it's not chaos when you come back. I'm going to clean. I might build
You're going to clean?
Shut up, jerk. It's not funny when you do that.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
to
not.
me, it is.
Because you know why?
Because what?
Because you act like I just am what is, Oscar the Grouch. You've never mopped the floor.
That's not true. I've Swiffered. That's the same thing, right?
We're not.
You don't even have a mop.
Swiffer.
Okay, so I've Swiffered.
You clean some things, but you don't clean all the things.
What things
The
don't I
toilet?
clean? I've cleaned the toilet.
Okay.
What don't I clean?
You've never cleaned the litter robot.
No, I've never cleaned the litter robot. That is true. I've cleaned out the litter robot, I've removed litter, but I've never given the litter robot a deep clean. You are 100%
will be
correct.
happening. I'm going to take it apart outside next week. I can't wait. So anyway.
No, we don't have a mop. All we have is the Swiffer. Are mops necessary anymore?
They're making a comeback. I don't know if
Really?
you've seen the videos on TikTok and Instagram.
I'm not in mop
They
TikTok.
gross me out. The strings gross me out. I know there are other kind of mops. I know you did the boiling water and you put it in the thing and it's squeezes it. There's new age mops. I get it. We probably should use it.
Oh, good question about the litter robot from Becky. Is the litter robot too big for a kitten?
No, they do make steps that you could get
Oh, that's
for
cute.
it. I don't know if it is common. It's public knowledge yet, but there's a new attachment for the litter robot and it gets delivered today.
Oh, that's pretty cool. But the kittens that you're fostering will have their own litter box in the bathroom, right?
But I don't know if I'm picked yet.
Oh, man.
But let me say this. I'm glad you brought that back up. Motley Zoo is completely tapped out on fosters. And if they get any more cats or kittens than they have right now, they have to turn those animals away.
Okay.
They have no one to take them.
So if you're in the greater Seattle area, Seattle, Tacoma, even down in Olympia.
foster@motleyzoo.org.
There you
Whether you can just say temporary or whatever, or I can only do it for this amount of time. It's a crazy year. It just keeps, because there's so much backlog from COVID because there was no trap and release, which is when you take a stray cat, bring it to the vet, get it neutered or spayed, and they didn't do that. So that was 2 to 3 mating cycles and breeding cycles that went, and that's 15 plus kittens per cat.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I think we're far enough away from the height of the COVID craze, right? That we can start calling out some bullshit COVID things.
Like, why were you not?
Why were they not trapping? Like, you're going outside and getting a cat.
I don't know.
It's not like you're going into a concert to find this cat.
It was more vets saying no.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you're putting on like a mask during that process anyway.
No, I don't know.
Or
what the reason.
sanitizing something. If you're spaying and
I don't
neutering
know.
cats.
My vet for up until like a few months ago, you still had to like wait in the car for them to come get your cat. It was like bizarre.
Also run like a husky said, and people got COVID pets that they don't want now.
And then it's crazy, and then they're giving them back. It's mainly happening to dogs, and
that's a wild concept.
They're fancy dogs, like dogs that they bought for thousands of dollars, and just giving it back. I think if you get a dog and it's crazy and you have kids, I understand there's an issue. But if you got a dog during COVID and you give it back, you should have to go to jail for at least a month.
I agree. I think that's okay. A month
with your dog in the cell. No, you know what? Your dog gets to live a better life.
You know what else I think we need to bring back? Speaking of jails, I feel like I don't know. I didn't live in the Wild West, but I feel like you hear about people getting rowdy at bars and then they're just like locked up for the night, right? The sheriff comes in, puts them in a cell like a drunk tank.
Justin Timberlake.
Right? I think we need to bring that back too, where we're not necessarily just like arresting people for being crazy on the streets, but like you put them in a drunk tank, you let them mellow out for, 12 to 24 hours, and then you go, okay, now you're back.
I'm fine with that.
Make your one phone call, stop being a crazy person.
Let's do it.
And then after a couple times, if they're still doing that, you go, okay, now we can't trust you out with normal people. So we need the drunk tank back. I don't know if that's still a thing. We also need people who give back their dogs. They get a month, right?
Yeah, and I agree with Lisa. Then you should never be allowed to get a pet again.
Oh, yes. Is there a registry of like these people shouldn't own
So this is something
animals?
I'm glad you brought that up, because when Carolina, who used to work at Elvis' show with us, was working with Rock and
Rawhide.
Yes. But she and I would talk about how there is there's no national registry, or some states are starting to do it. No national registry for people that have abused dogs, animals, whatever, and have been caught, jailed, whatever. There's nothing for that. So you could kill an animal and be like, "Oh, my dog died," and then you're a psychopath doing this. There's no proof that you're constantly doing this. So there needs to be. Although then I don't think I can have 4 cats in my house.
Why?
Oh, you can only have like 3 animals registered, or like the city says 3 animals. So Erica,
But it doesn't make sense that they would.
where they
I get there
where they
is
gonna put them?
no. Well, I get there is a limit, right? Like we shouldn't be allowing people to have like 40 cats in a home, in a townhouse or an apartment or whatever. But, it's crazy that the government will come in and try to limit how many animals you can have as a good cat owner, but not limit access to animals to someone who abuses animals.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's weird where they're drawing the line of what they're going to monitor.
Well, Caroline and Max are registered with the county.
Okay. What does that mean?
They say it means like it can help us find them if they go missing. I'm like, they're chipped, bro. How are you going to find, you're not going to find them any better. Erica and John are not registered with the county because I didn't want 4 cats to show up at my address.
Also, I have a hard time believing that any government, no matter how big or small, is going to spend their resources looking for someone's lost cat or dog.
Right. Now they get all
If
their.
you have an example of that, please let me know.
I have all their rabies tags. I got all that. They get all their shots. Trust me, they're healthier than I am.
Real quick, Carla Marie, Marijuana just jumped in the chat and subscribed. And I don't know if he heard earlier, but out of my very busy and exciting week, I did say to everybody, there's proof. If you roll the tape, the most excited I am today is to see
Show him your head.
Miles. My hair is crazy right now.
He would like a buzz cut, Miles.
Also, if you noticed, I've been growing out my beard again.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that was because I didn't have Miles and I was trying to clean up my beard, but I took the buzzer too high up my sideburns. So I needed to let the beard grow out a little more so he can figure out where the sideburn starts and stops.
So
it looks normal again.
Are you planning on going to Japan with a beard?
No, I'll have some normal stubble, but not a beard. No. So.
I feel like that's highly coveted there.
You know they could grow beards.
I
in
know, but
Japan.
I just think about when we were in Taiwan, and it was fascinating to people there that you had a beard, that I had blonde hair, that
I
you
think
were muscled and dark. It was.
I think it was more the skin tone and just the fact that I looked very different.
They loved you.
And I think I really was like the 4th tallest person in Taiwan, at least for the people that I saw.
I literally had a woman, our server at a restaurant, grab my hair and be like, oh, it's so pretty. And it was so short at the time, too. And she was like, this color, yellow.
I had a friend who lived in China for a little bit. And he did like 6 months in China. And he said that there were businesses that would come up to him if they were like doing a grand opening or a ribbon cutting or some sort of like big event, and they would just invite him there because he was a tall, very pale redhead. Is a giant. I mean, my friend Dan is like a giant. He's like 6'6". And it just, I guess, looked good for them to have someone that looked like him at their event, and he would just get paid like daily, just to exist in their space.
What country needs short blondes?
I think none of them, unfortunately.
Let me see. I bet you.
What are you looking at?
Papua New Guinea.
I don't think so, Carla Marie.
It's over there. Wow.
I feel like you're getting close to Australia, and they have short blondes there. I think you're fine.
Sri Lanka? The Maldives?
I don't know, Carla Marie.
India, definitely.
Let's see. Mergen said it's definitely stared at. The trainer I used on the chat is moving. On iFit is 6'2". He's a bearded man, and everyone he passed stared at him.
And
you do get a lot of looks when you travel to some of these East Asian
you
countries.
should walk around shirtless, see what happens. Will you get in trouble there?
What? Why would I just walk around, like in the city, just walk around shirtless? Or like at the beach?
You're going to the beach?
I'm going to try. I don't know if we're going to have time to go to the beach, but I feel like I'd like to. I know when we went to the beach in Taiwan, it was one of the most beautiful beaches we saw.
Well, it was the beach from
Life is Pi?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, the iFit program was filmed in Japan. That's pretty cool. All right, anyway, moving on from Japan. We have a lot to talk about today. So we still do have our field trip to Costa Rica. If you are interested, I believe we still have some spots in the early bird special.
We do.
So you can save $200. We are going at the end of March. It's basically the last week of March, first 2 days of April, I believe.
We come back April 2nd, and then I got to fly to Jersey for my dad's 80th birthday.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, you could fly straight there, right?
Or, yeah. Who wants to come? You can go to Costa Rica and my dad's birthday. I will, if you come,
only if you go to Costa Rica.
Only if you come to Costa Rica. Well, I don't even know. We haven't planned a party yet. But if you come to Costa Rica, I will guarantee you an invite to my dad's 80th birthday.
Okay. Do you think that's like a real motivator, or do you think that's
do.
going to stop people from going?
I do.
Like if you go to Costa Rica, do you also have to go to your dad's birthday? Okay, so it's just an added bonus if you so choose. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Run Like a Husky brings up a good point. Why do you got to do it during March Madness? But
when there's downtime, you guys can watch games together.
I listen, if Seton Hall's playing in any of those games, I will be watching. But also that ends up being, what would that be? That would probably be the Elite 8 weekend. And I get it, there's still some teams you'd want to watch, but it's not the big weekend. The big weekend for March Madness is weekend 1. Right? That's where you're getting all the crazy upsets. That's where we're getting 4 games at the same time. That's the wildness. That's the first 2 rounds.
But yeah, this trip looks incredible. I had, if you know Babes of Steel on Instagram, or is it Babies of Steel on Instagram? She is awesome. And she said she literally just did that same itinerary, and it was Babies of Steel. Meredith is her name. And she said she literally just did that itinerary last month, and it was the best.
Who did she do it with?
I think herself. Like, she was the host.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we have that. If you want the info, you can hit us up. I am at Worst Anthony on Instagram.
I'm at the Carla Marie.
And you can always email us, hello@carlamarieandanthony.com. Champions of Change basketball, that is going to be this Friday. So I am finally participating. I'm only a couple days away. I got 2 working legs. Things are going well. I got new basketball sneakers. Wow. I am like ready to go. That I have been breaking in a little bit.
Okay, good.
And tickets are still available. I think the BOGO deal might be done that I had, but if you want to buy an individual ticket and connect with some of the other people from this community who are going, feel free to do that. I believe I am going to start a channel, a temporary channel in our Discord for people to talk about that if they're all going.
Yeah, because I would like to figure out a time to come see everybody in their section.
And who knows? Maybe I know I have to be there. No, I have to be there at 5:30.
Yeah.
So maybe if people are coming in early at like 5, we could all meet at a bar.
Well, what time do doors open?
Probably 6.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Well, okay, is that what you want to do?
Yeah. Why?
Because you just said, like, maybe it's Tuesday. People need to know these things.
We'll figure it all out.
Okay.
I do have I have to get a run of show, I think, today from the people who are putting it all together. So once I have all my final information, I'll be able to do that. What else do we have here? Oh, thank you, Claire, for putting the Costa Rica trip link in there. And like we said, the early bird special is still available, so you can save $200 if you buy it now.
You don't have to book the whole trip right now.
I don't think we've talked about that enough. You don't have to pay up front. You could pay
25%
weekly. You could pay monthly.
deposit.
Yeah. You can figure out how to make this work for you financially however you want after you get the first 25% down. Let's see. Jordan said, I'm going to stay in Seattle after work because Jordan lives down by Puyallup, obviously. And I say obviously because of her screen name in the chat. So she'll be available if anyone's coming into town early and wants to hang out with Jordan. Feel free to do so.
I wish we can get like a whole plane of people to come out here from Jersey.
A plane of people?
Yeah.
Like 200 people that just hop on a flight to watch me play 4 minutes of basketball?
Yeah.
No, it is a really good event. And those tickets are still available. So message me if you're interested in the BOGO deal. I'll see if that link is still working. You can message me at Worst Anthony.
Martha, if you can get a flight here, I will. You could stay over.
Sure. I won't be there.
She hates cats though, so.
Oh, well then that won't work. It is crazy that I'll be playing in that and then less than 12 hours later I'll be on a flight to Japan. Because I think my flight's at 7 o'clock in the morning or something crazy like that.
That's right. Last year they had a live stream, so be on the lookout for it. We'll share it.
Which is interesting because I think Bender, who we used to work with at iHeartRadio, I think he is one of the hosts, but it also says Joel McHale is one of the hosts. Do you think he'll be actually covering the live stream?
Yeah, what if you do
Or is he just hosting like, oh, welcome, blah, 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 enjoy the game, and walking away?
Last year it was just their mics.
Interesting.
We're in the live stream, so Bender and Joel McHale, I think, are hosting together.
That's actually pretty cool.
I hope you do something stupid and Joel McHale makes fun of you for it.
What if I
Like he talk soups you.
What if I dive for the ball and how they dive into the crowd sometimes to save a ball? I'll do that.
Please don't hurt yourself.
Right over the announcer's desk.
He's tall. You're not getting over him.
He's a big man. Used to play tight end for University of Washington. Little known fact about Joel McHale.
I would recommend wearing a You Look Great item to the game.
Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to do.
TBD on my WAG outfit.
If you do have some You Look Great gear, feel free to wear it to the game because that'll also make it easier for me to spot you when I'm on the court. Maybe I'll pass you the ball. Should I do that? Just chuck the ball into the stands at one point.
That'll be the end of your career.
All right, we have to take our little break here. I will get the word game set up, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. get back to the show, shall we, Carla Marie?
Sure.
All right. So we have a lot on our list still. There we go. Carla Marie wanted me to put raw dog in it on the list.
It keeps popping up on my Instagram feed. There's this trend of men
Okay.
who are flying however long a flight,
Okay.
from 2 hours to 10 hours, and don't have headphones, aren't using their phones, and they're just watching the map of the flight.
Okay.
And then more men are seeing it and like, I'm gonna try it, and then like, I did it, and I think this thus proves that men are psychotic.
You know what's funny? That it's crazy they bring that up now because I was just hanging out with my friend. Hold on. I was just hanging out with my friend Rob, who is one of the people that I went to Coachella with the first time I went to Coachella. And at the time, Rob didn't travel a ton, and some of us probably had traveled more, so he didn't really think much of it. Showed up to the airport, no headphones, no book. You got to think this was back in 2014, so like mobile games weren't even as good as they were.
Have Wi-Fi.
He didn't have a charger, right? So he just sat there staring at the back of the headrest of the person in front of him.
Headphones?
There was no, I don't think that flight had anything in the headrest either. It was an older plane. So he just sat there, like you said, on the screen, raw dogging it the whole time.
Mage trend right now.
But I will say this. Yesterday, on our flight back from New Jersey, I didn't plug in my headphones at any point.
You read a book.
I had a book.
So you're not.
That was it.
You used some protection.
Yes. Yes. It was like the pull and pray, if anything. But it was actually kind of nice.
No, I'm not even.
Thankfully, there were no screaming babies or anything like that on this flight because that's really the time that I'll put my headphones on.
There were babies screaming.
I don't feel like it wasn't that bad. Maybe I slept while they were screaming. But it was actually kind of nice to just have some peace and quiet.
Like, okay, do it. You know what? On your flight to Japan, just sit there.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's 10 hours.
Just watch the little map.
The map is fun to watch,
Going
though.
over the Pacific.
Especially, you went over the Atlantic. You literally...
No, I was here.
Okay. It's actually kind of fun when the maps are interactive and you can like zoom in and check out the cities that you're over, and then you do like the cross-examination.
I'm like, should we be telling people this?
You start going, oh, okay, now I am over Fargo. This is what that looks like, you know? Because sometimes I feel like that map might lie to us.
I would if I was that map.
And then you get to check your speed and your altitude. What I would like to see...
It's great. You can find your phone when the door flies off. You know which city you were over.
I think there should be ways for airplanes, okay? And it's all connected. It's all interactive. Because normally what you find out is the way that pilots know if there's turbulence or not is normally just by talking to the pilots ahead of them.
What? No, there's some radar.
There are some instruments as well, but before they take off, they know like, oh, today
speed bump.
There's rough wind over Delaware.
Do you think they have something like Waze, WAZE?
Yeah,
where it's like cop thing on the road.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They should have that, but they should also allow passengers access.
The last thing we need is plane-to-plane communication between passengers.
No, but basically it would just be for passengers to list like it's really just for turbulence. And then you would look at your map and it would tell you like there's a red line that says heavy turbulence, a yellow one that's like moderate, and green is super smooth.
Our flight,
so then you would know, because I think that's the thing that scares people with turbulence is when the pilot or the crew doesn't warn you and you're 36,000 miles up and you just start going like this.
No one warned us yesterday.
No.
And it was a bumpy flight. There were storms all over the country. I mean, we were prepared. But as we were hitting some of it, I was like, man, there's been some wild things happening in the air lately. I'm not like turbulence. Normally I'm like, ooh, this is fun. Now I'm like, is my head getting bashed through the oxygen thing? Like, what's about to happen? The
only time our pilot yesterday warned us, you may have been sleeping, but he said, hey, we're going to have about 5 minutes of heavy turbulence, so I'm turning on the seatbelt light. But my favorite pilots are always the ones who kind of walk you through the flight. Yeah. Right? Hey, we're going to hit, in about 5 minutes, we're going to hit 10 to 20 minutes of turbulence. And then you start rattling in the air and you don't even care about it. Because you're like, oh, they're prepared. They know exactly what's going on.
It would be nice if they called the jump seats that the flight attendants sit in anything other than the jump seats. Because I'm like, this seems dramatic.
It does.
Flight attendants, please take your jump seats. Flight attendants, sit down.
It is very dramatic. The camera's a little off kilter here, but whatever.
But Also,
But I think how great would that be if on your interactive map, right, on the back of the headrest or on your app, you got to see red, yellow, maybe orange.
I think it would be, it would
And green.
It would help my family.
Yeah, I think it would help everybody. And everybody being a little more relaxed on a flight makes a huge difference, because the reason people will snap, or whether it's at a passenger or at a flight attendant, is normally because they're just super anxious. They could also be drunk, but the combination of all of those things is bad. So if we just gave one level of like an anti-anxiety screen to people, I think that would actually help air travel a lot.
Also, apparently drinking while you're flying is one of the worst things you can do for your body. There was like a new study.
Why?
It's really bad for your heart. Something with the oxygen levels and altitude and drinking. So I probably won't do that again. Also, DJ Phase, I love this idea because I always watch the flight on the screen. But here's the question, DJ Phase. Are you only doing that? Are you only staring at the map your entire flight? Or are you doing other things?
I use the flight map. If I'm awake without a book.
But you'll listen to music.
Yeah.
You'll scroll on Instagram. You don't just...
That's the other thing I didn't do on this flight. I didn't connect to Wi-Fi, even though with T-Mobile we can, because if you have T-Mobile, you could basically connect to any of the GoGo Wi-Fi
for free
spots. It's really, and it's for, I think it's unlimited, right? Yeah. Streaming, texting. You obviously can't call, but yeah. I didn't scroll on Instagram. I didn't know. The other thing I normally do on flights is delete photos and screenshots that I just don't need on my phone anymore. Didn't do that. I either slept or read, and it was very peaceful. Okay. And I don't think, did this flight have screens in the headrest?
No, Alaska doesn't, but you can, if you're flying Alaska, for free, watch our episode of Homemade Live. Nara posted that. She did that. I went, I did take a video of how to find it. I got to post that. But yeah.
Let's see. When Martha said I'm bored, I thought she was talking about the show first, but then she meant I need all of these things. But how cool would it be if, and because the one problem with the interactive flight map is the graphics are terrible.
Well, no.
What?
They're actually good these days.
What are you talking about?
On my last United flight, it looked like it was like a live shot, 360 cam outside the window.
Maybe it was a new flight, because some of the ones I see in a new plane, some of the ones I see look like old school PlayStation graphics. Like, they're not great.
No, I've been flying some like United. The one we flew, it was Delta. They had the cool lights on the ceiling.
They did.
And the cool contraption for the flight attendant.
But think about it this way. If they, maybe even not better graphics, I don't want it to be more realistic. I want it to be more fun. Because they're definitely not fun.
Like, it gives you a blurb about the city.
Maybe, yeah. You could click on it and it'll say, Omaha is the capital of steaks.
I would love that.
Or whatever.
We host it. We could be the pop-up video. Remember that?
But it could just be, listen, we can make ourselves involved if you want. Carla Marie special. But also, we could just give the idea to somebody. Because I would love it to look almost more cartoonish. Right? And if there's a storm, you see little storm clouds flashing. And if you're over a stadium, it'll show you the score of the game.
But Alaska
right? Imagine you could look. You're flying over Busch Stadium. You're looking. And you go, I wonder what's going on there. And you click it, and it says, "Oh, the Cardinals are up 4-0."
Or which era Taylor's performing.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, we probably won't get that because it's going to cost us more, I imagine, because Alaska has no in-seat entertainment, and they have the most expensive air flying tickets you could buy right now.
I bet you we could make this profitable for Alaska by just selling sponsorships on it, right? Like, what if you flew over? What if let's say Coca-Cola, okay, huge company. What if every time you flew over a Coca-Cola like bottling factory or plant or whatever, there was a little Coca-Cola symbol? You went, oh, that's where they make my Coke.
Maybe.
I think it'd be cool.
Oh, Mergen said, on my Delta flight home from Jamaica, there were facts about the towns we were flying over.
That's pretty cool.
So I think the problem is because we keep flying Alaska and we don't have the in-seat thing.
We're just missing all these big updates to life.
So our flight was actually delayed 3 hours yesterday. Luckily, we got the alert. I got a text alert from Alaska before I left, right when I woke up. So I went back to sleep, which was great. We were at our parents'. Didn't have to worry about a hotel, Airbnb, any of that. I need to call them today because according to PDB, Pete Buttigieg, and the Department of Transportation, we're supposed to get monies.
Okay.
Because it was
for what?
3-hour flight delay.
Okay.
They did send us food vouchers, which I didn't see till we landed, and they sent us $12 each.
Not the same. Getting my money back on a flight and a food voucher,
Right.
Because it was not a $12 flight.
And I'm going to be like, PDB said, you got to give me monies.
I'm cool with that.
So I got to do that today. But we were delayed because the flight before us was delayed and our pilots and flight attendants needed to sleep, which I'm okay with.
Oh, yeah.
But it was so windy.
I'm usually not mad. It's annoying if your flight gets delayed, especially if you're in a rush or you're trying to, whatever, make a connection. But generally speaking, they're not delaying flights for no reason, right? They're delaying flights because there's a maintenance issue, which absolutely take care of that before you send me in a rocket into the sky. Or it's a personnel issue. And yeah, I want to make sure that the pilots and the flight attendants and all the mechanics and everyone are getting enough rest.
Yeah, 100%. But separate of that, it was so windy. I don't think I've taken off in such a windy
Yeah, it
flight.
was rough.
It was like Orville and Wilbur back in their days. It felt very much like, what are we doing here, guys? For the first 10, 15 minutes.
It did kind of feel like we kept taking off. It was like this, right?
And I was like
you would go up and then you drop a little bit and you'd go back
I
up.
was like getting nauseous.
But listen, they were well rested, so we're fine.
They were well rested.
And that's one of the reasons I feel like I keep the window open when I fly, because some people will close it right away because they don't want the sun coming in. I feel like if I can see what's going on out there and we're shake, rattle, and rolling in the air,
Such a man thing.
I'm good.
And you also think you could land the plane?
No.
I could.
No. I did say, because that was the whole thing, right? Like, figure out if your man's toxic by asking if he can land a plane. I don't think, if you put me up there right now and then just said, land this plane, I'm dead. Immediately.
Our friend who is a pilot said you wouldn't be able to do it.
But
none of these guys would.
if there was someone from like the control tower walking me through the steps, I think I'd have a shot, mainly because it's really a lot of it, it's not automated, but it's a system, right? Like, you have to have a feel for it. You have to know what you're doing. But if they can take me through the system and say, hey, lower this lever or push this button, I'm hoping I can maybe follow their instructions well enough.
Which has happened before. They've been able to do that before on smaller planes, not commercial planes.
Okay.
To people.
So why couldn't I do it?
I think it was like to a student, remember? A student who was flying, then the guy passed out or something.
Oh, like he was already training to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But I just feel like if I had really great instruction, I'd be a good enough student to maybe save a handful of people. It'd still be a very rough landing. Not saying everyone would make it, but I'm saying there'd be a chance.
Okay. Good to know.
Any pilots out there? Any pilots watching this? Let me know if that's possible.
We're going to have our pilot friend Justin come on at some point.
Okay.
And he's going to talk about it.
Okay.
I would like for both of us to go to a flight simulator and put us in that crazy situation and see who does better.
Well, when we were talking to our friend who's a pilot, he was saying how those flight simulators they're millions and millions and millions of dollars. And oftentimes, if you're learning how to fly a commercial airliner, it costs a lot of money to put those things in the air, right? So they're not going to have you take your lessons on their gigantic planes.
Oh, yeah.
So oftentimes, your first flight in one of those gigantic, 747s is with passengers.
Yeah.
And granted, there's two people in the cockpit. You're never going like completely raw dogging it, if you will. But that's the first time you're really taking one of those things up.
Do pilots listen to music when they're flying?
I don't know, because I do know that now in like modern day flight, a lot of them.
They take pictures, they text their kids.
Well, between takeoff and landing, especially if you have a super long flight, a lot of it's automated, right? You're just kind of monitoring a computer to make sure everything is good. You're alert and you're checking things, but I don't know how much like downtime they have.
Your pilots, they're gonna watch all the movies on the way to Japan. I have so many questions for pilots.
Fred the Millman said, I drove a 1985 Buick LeSabre for years. The plane would be easier to operate.
That's probably true. Okay, so we have a lot of stuff to do after the show today, so let's make sure we get all the things.
Okay. So what else do you want to go to, Carla Marie?
Graduation Marie.
Go for it.
So I was the commencement speaker at my high school's graduation on Friday. It was so freaking cool. My nephew graduated. I got to see like all of my teachers. That was amazing. you got to like sit there like on the field with me.
You got to sit there.
No, but like you got to sit with me. My mom was like, "What the heck, Anthony gets to be down there?"
I was. It was cool. I was really there just to be like a producer to make sure that you got your stuff filmed and recorded.
It was cool to bring you to my like high school field, which was fun. It was so hot.
It was a toasty day.
And it's always hotter on turf. And there was a heat gun. And as soon as we got there, Anthony picked up the heat gun and checked the temp on the turf, and it was 124.
Yeah.
And those kids had to sit there with their graduation gowns on top of their clothing on a 124-degree surface.
It was not a cool day, to say the least.
The wind came in and clouds came in, which was nice. But I think it went well.
You did a very good job.
My 8th grade science.
Little long.
It was 10 and a
I'm
half
kidding.
minutes. It was long. But I had to start speaking slow. My issue that happened is my mouth gets pretty dry regularly. I drink a lot during the show, especially when I'm talking a lot, obviously. But it was so hot, no matter how much I hydrated. I had all the hydration gummies that day, everything. By line 2, my mouth felt like sandpaper. And I was having an internal panic as I'm reading and just trying to speak that my mouth was just going to stop. It was like, you know, in Hocus Pocus when Billy, what's his name? Billy opens his mouth and he goes, that's what my mouth was doing. Okay. So I'm now licking my lips, reading the speech like a weirdo. I'm like, so I can't wait to watch the video back. But
it was very good.
My 8th grade science teacher, Mr. Haynes, gave it an A+. He said it was most likely the best commencement speech they've ever had.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. My English teachers loved it. They said, great job. I did have a stutter or two, and my joke didn't land because I messed up, and I have not stopped thinking about it for 4 days. I can't wait till the day I wake up and I don't think about it because it's driving me insane. But the average person, it was great.
No, it was a very good speech. You did a good job. It seemed like it was well received. But we do have to talk quickly about this woman that we saw yesterday.
I'm talking about myself.
Why?
I got a little gear.
North Arlington hockey?
Yeah.
Did you ever play North Arlington hockey?
We didn't even have it when I was there.
So why do you have it?
They got an Italian society. I said, I'm coming back here. I would like to learn Italian.
You can learn Italian
They got all
elsewhere.
these things. And there was drama in the stands also.
Why?
Because my niece's boyfriend, Travis, said he heard 3 people sitting next to him. It was one family. And as they were like introducing me, they're like, oh, she's a podcaster. She just has a podcast. And the class president who introduced me said something about hosting a podcast. And they're like, see, she's just a podcast host. Blah, blah, blah. Like they were complaining. And Krista, my niece, is going, Travis, do not say anything. And he said he wanted to yell at them. And I was like, man, I wish I knew they were haters. I would have just taken the mic and I would have gone rogue.
It's easy to hate from the stands.
It is.
That's it.
It is. But it was such a cool experience.
It's easy to hate when you're not doing the thing.
I had one of my teachers say she was really looking forward to my speech because I was always a great writer. And I was like, no pressure. I said I was up till 2 a.m. working on it. She goes, oh, so you're still a perfectionist? And I was like, 18 or more years later. And I've still got they're the best. But we also didn't have a big school. So it's easier to remember people. And when you've got your whole family going there all the time, there's always a constant reminder.
I wonder if any of my teachers remember me.
Probably because you tortured them.
Yeah, not a great student.
Right.
But I wasn't a great student, but I was an okay kid. Like they didn't dislike me as a human. They just wanted me to do my homework.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, so I didn't.
Yep. One of my teachers posted that I was her all-time favorite student.
Oh, wow.
And she said she's been getting a lot of DMs that she has shattered some hearts.
Really quick, if you missed it earlier, we are on vacation next week. So Thursday is going to be our last show on Twitch. Friday will be our last morning show podcast until we are back the following week. And also, if you go to a pizza place, any pizza place across America, put your shoes on before you walk in. Especially if you've got the balls to wear a mask when you walk into this pizza place and not have shoes. That was it. We saw the weirdest thing yesterday. Obviously,
I can't get over it.
I
cannot.
To a place called Pagliacci's, which is a local pizza chain here.
Great pizza.
Carla Marie claims it's better than New Jersey pizza. She has said that multiple times.
Once.
Multiple times.
Because it's not as greasy.
That's a debate for a different day. But we went there yesterday to grab some dinner. And this woman walked through the parking lot from her car with no shoes on.
I said, that woman has no shoes on. Anthony's like, what? I said, she has no shoes on. And then we watched her put on an N95 mask.
Yeah, full on, real mask. And I get it. Maybe she's sick and she didn't want to get anyone else ill. Make anyone else ill. I get that. But also put your shoes on in a restaurant.
As someone who as someone who formerly did not wear shoes in public, I still would always wear them in a restaurant.
Ugh. I don't even like seeing people's toes in sandals if there's no sand around. But I'll at least make that exception. I get it. People do it. But you're going to walk barefoot. It's not even like, I get it. Golden Gardens has a beach and it's not that far from where we were. No. But this wasn't like a boardwalk pizza shop.
No.
Right? This was in a city. You walked from your car through a parking lot. Not you, Carla Marie, in case anyone just tuned in now. This person. And went into a pizza establishment where people were eating around you.
And we walked in after her. And the people working there could not see because of the counter. But did you see the girl sitting there eating her dinner?
No.
She just stopped and was just staring.
Yeah, how do you not?
Like this.
How do you not? And this is where I do wish, I love that people can be themselves, right? Be yourself, be your authentic self, all that good stuff. But also we should get back to a place in society where that woman is shamed.
And I wanted to say something to her, but I was like, I can't tell if she's homeless. I know she got out of a car, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be a dick.
She's got shoes somewhere.
I don't want to be a dick.
But, okay, I get that. That woman did not strike me as someone who did not have enough to put shoes on. She looked like a pretty normal, everyday person that just chose to walk in there like a straight-up hippie with no shoes.
She was in the passenger seat. Oh, I have seen a trend. Have you seen the people that are, like, not wearing shoes in public? They're just they're cutting out the bottoms of their shoes.
That's honestly, do it. If you want to, if you just want your feet, to touch whatever dirty ground you're walking on, go for it. Wear shoes. Wear shoes.
I went from being the dirt foot slut on Elvis's show, which you could never say on the air now, to cleaning my feet in the summer every night before bed, no matter what, because it grosses me out.
Yeah. Just wear shoes. Especially if you're going to a restaurant.
It's true. It's not cheap pizza. Fred said if you have money for pizza, you have money for footwear.
You're going to be doing all right. Mish said, I live in Kenmore. I had a woman walk into our brewery and yell, Dave Grohl killed Kurt Cobain. We really should. I don't know how we would do it.
You know what?
Like, I don't want a police force to do this. I don't want to create, like, another authority department.
We need a tow force.
We need some sort of trustworthy, crowd-sourced shaming tool where we just say, that person's just too weird to be in public. They're doing weird things. Until they stop doing weird things, they got to stay home.
Okay. I don't know about that.
I'm all for it. Yeah. People just got to start acting normal in public again. Make people normal again. I don't know. Is that a hat we can print? Is that going to go over well? The Citizens app for shaming. That's basically the Neighbors app.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't that what the Neighbors app?
Neighborhood.
All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will be back on Thursday right here on Twitch. And obviously, there is a new morning show podcast available wherever you get your shows. Final words, Carla Marie?
Do I have any final words today? Don't be a dick. Wear your shoes.
Wear your shoes.
I need a new quote at the end of every day.
Okay.